Yo, people, good evening, as Arsenal's former manager would like to say. Lee Gunner's favorite phrase. Good evening. Listen, Love Island's finished now, so let's get back to football. Tuesday, I spoke about Darwin Nunes. It seems to be a thing for forwards. I promise you, it's not a thing for forwards. I'm literally just talking about teams making big signings as they happen. So we spoke on Tuesday about Darwin Nunes when Liverpool agreed a fee and he was confirmed on their site. And today we're here to speak about Gabriel Jesus. People are saying there's an echo. Can you not
I
hear an
can't
echo?
hear. I can't hear an
No,
echo.
no, I can't hear any echo.
Guys, let me know in the comments if there is actually an echo because someone's just put echo. I don't know if he's guessing or not. But listen, we're here to talk about Gabriel Jesus. And obviously I brought some Arsenal. I don't think I'll call you lot experts. I don't think I'm gonna call you lot experts. I bought an Arsenal waste man in Lee, and I bought an Arsenal pessimist in Dan. Yeah, let's do that. Let's
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that. Yeah. You happy with that with Lee Wasteman, Arsenal Wasteman?
I tell you what, though, when we get to the nooks and cranny of it tonight, a lot of your fans are going to be my fans, mate. I tell you that much.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I can bet. I don't think so. But I'm joking anyway, man. It's good to have you on, guys. It's good to have you
Yeah,
on, Lee. It's good to have you on,
thank you for
Dan.
having me, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, cheers, bro.
No problem, no problem. But listen, let's get back on topic, man. Gabriel Jesus, closing on what looks to be around 42 million pound with add-ons, but I'm also reading close to 50 million. But for the most part, it looks like you lot are finally about to land Gabriel Jesus. Similar fashion to what I did for the Liverpool transfer before we got into the real detail. Like outside looking in, what is your rating out of 10 for this transfer? Like, irrespective of what else is going to be done in the summer, what is your rating out of 10 for Gabriel Jesus? I'm going to start with you, Lee.
Do you know what? Just before we started, obviously I was just talking to Dan, and he said that. We were just chatting about the whole fact of Nketiah signing a new contract, which obviously just broke in the last maybe 45 minutes. I think if we don't get another striker, and obviously some of the names that have been touted around, obviously it would suffice and be good enough. If we don't get another striker, then I won't be as happy, only because I just I like Jesus a lot. I really do, and I'm real big advocate for him to kind of sign in and playing for us. But I just don't know if he can get us those 20 to 22 goals for Arsenal. He hasn't had a stretch for us for long enough. Well, so for Man City long enough to prove. But I'm just a little bit apprehensive about that move. So on the face of it, I'm gonna say a 6.5. If you can say a 6.5, it should be a 7, but I'm gonna say a 6.5.
Okay, 6.5 out of 10. I feel like that's kind of low. And just to bear in mind, I get your point, Lee, around what it will look like based off what other signings are coming in. But I just want you lot to assess this signing in isolation. So let's say even if you had your ideal squad and you're signing Gabriel Jesus, just him as a player and what he's bringing to your club, a rating out of 10. So with that in mind, would you still give it a 6.5 out of 10 or would you bump it up?
I'm gonna say a 7 because he's not scored enough goals per season for me to be as happy as I would be for the quality of an Arsenal striker. So I'm gonna say 7. I'll say 7.
Okay, and Potts, what are you saying?
Yeah, I can't budge on a 7, bro. To be fair with you, I think it's a good signing, but I don't sit there and say wow excitement for the pure fact that I think he's got 14 goals. One of the seasons, I think he got 13 in one of the others, but he averages out about 8 or 9 goals a season. So I don't think that's what we need to take us to that next level. But I will say that, like you said, Tobes, if we get other signings on top of that, then yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10 signing. I don't feel like he is the player that is going to bring us all of the attributes that I want in my number 9. Personally, I like some more attributes like a Tammy Abraham type, who's got the kind of bit of everything, who can give a little bit of strength, pace, power, knows where the goal is, on form, banging them in for fun, has the pace, has the link-up play, has that target man, and that kind of all-round number 9. I wanted Darwin Nunes. As soon as we didn't get Champions League, I knew he was going to be off somewhere else. But I like the signing, but I need to see another striker alongside him, because with Eddie being there, I don't want him coming into the team hardly at all this coming season. And people might think that's harsh because he did quite well towards the end of the latter part of the season, but I just think we need to be upgrading on players like that. So Gabriel Jesus, I give him a 7 out of 10, and I don't want that to be a kind of, oh, that's so harsh. He's definitely a quality signing, because I'm not saying he isn't, but for me, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. You know.
You want ooters, man. You want ooters. You want shooters.
Do you know what? I just wanted to ask both of you a quick question. I want to ask both of you a real quick question. Do you think Jesus or Nunes moves the needle for either club in terms of strikers? If you didn't have Harry Kane or Son, and obviously we don't have any strikers because obviously Lacazette and Aubameyang's gone. Because I would say personally, no, I don't believe any of them move the needle for us really in terms of getting to that top level of winning the Prem or against Man City strikers or the front three of Liverpool.
I think I think Gabriel Jesus does move the needle for us, and I'm not going to lie to you. I think he does. I do hear and agree with you guys' points that I think he needs to be supplemented by another attacker for me. I think there's two things to consider with Gabriel Jesus. And before we continue, people, there's already 160 of you lot in here. Please do us a solid and do 3 things. 1, smash the like button if you haven't already. 2, subscribe to these guys' channels as well. Dan's channel is in the title. Lee's channel is in the description. Make sure you subscribe to Lee's channel. Lee hasn't actually started putting content on his channel, but he's building up his channel. So I want everyone who joins in on this stream, I want you lot to do us a solid and make sure you subscribe to these guys' channels, man. Let's build each other up. Simple. So I want you to do all those things, and of course subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't subscribed. But on Gabriel Jesus, the reason why I say I think he does move the needle for Arsenal is because I think we're talking about a really good player here, and we're talking about a player who is ready, in my opinion, to take that next step up. I think Gabriel Jesus over the years has proven that he's not quite good enough to be the leading striker for Man City. I think he's missed too many opportunities. He's not really sort of held his place down, even in periods where they've obviously gone without an archetypal number 9, and he's still not been able to nail a spot in the team. But I think a flip side to that is Pep also heavily rotates his team. He rotates his attackers. So even the very best of attackers still get rotated in and out of that team. And I also think with Arsenal getting him at 25 years old, you're getting a guy who's got a point to prove. I think if you look at his underlying metrics, if you look at his goals per 90, if you look at his conversion rate, if you look at some of the other metrics, I think he actually performs relatively well. I'm pretty sure I checked on FBref, and I don't really like using FBref for everything, but when you look at his non-penalty goals for FBref, he's in the 90th percentile. So I'm looking at this as 2 sides. I'm looking at it as this. It's a 25-year-old striker who's got the technical quality, who's got the ability to play left, to play right, to play centrally, who can occupy centre backs, who's got pace, who's got good link up, good feet, and he can pick his spot in the back of the net. And I'm also looking at it on the other side, a guy who does miss a lot of chances, quite profligate, even penalties. I've seen this guy miss so many penalties back to back. And I'm looking at your side, a side who, I don't think you scored more than 59 goals you scored last season? I can't even remember. So this is two seasons on the trot now where I don't think you scored more than 60 goals. So this is clear. It's clear to see that this is a team that needs goals. And even if you got a 25 goal Gabriel Jesus, I would still think it's not enough. I think you need two.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying?
The reason I wanted Abraham and I would have taken Jesus is exactly what you were saying, Tobes, and also what Matisse is saying. Both have a point to prove. Tammy Abraham's basically saying Chelsea said, see you later, or you're not good enough for us, you can go. He'll come back hungry. Jesus will come in and say, do you know what? I could have stayed at Man City and been their number 9, but now they've got Haaland. I need to go and prove that by getting rid of them, they might have thought, maybe we should have kept him in the squad because he's good. So I think you're right. There's 2 needed though. I can't deal with just getting Jesus and Nketiah. There needs to be more than that for me. And I think what people have also failed to mention so far is that Jesus can play anywhere. So Jesus, although it be at a number 9, he can play right or left, and there we go. Someone's put it in a super chat. So I think that's a really good point. Personally, is that he can come off of both flanks. And after speaking to Big Steve the other night, he was saying, look, you're going to get someone who's going to be a fan's favourite. He's a workhorse, gives 110%. And if they're the sort of things that are coming out of a Man City fan's mouth, saying we don't want to get rid of the guy, he's a fan's favourite, we actually quite like him, that has to be good news, man. Because we have had some problems with mentality over the years, and this is exactly what we need to see: is mentality. Winning mentality at that, and that's what Gabriel Jesus is in the last 4 or 5 seasons. All he's done is win trophies. So yeah, fair play.
Yeah. And I
just want to a lot of people in the chat. They're like, "Oh, we're saying he's not quality. He is.
No,
quality.
I'm not saying,
Everyone in the chat, he is quality. I want him, but I'm just saying for what I want like genuine. Like I think it was ZZ Flash. Big up to ZZ Flash. He said that, you know what, Jesus, he may not even start for Spurs. And Spurs ain't a top 2 team at this moment in time. So for me, I want absolute top tier quality. And Jesus is a very good striker, and he's good at what he does. But I want a certified 25 goal a season kind of guy. And I just think even at Abraham, even though I don't think he probably will do that, I think he would maybe offer a little bit more for what I want in terms of the team. But look, like, I'm happy with Jesus. I don't have any issues with Jesus coming in, because yes, you're right, he can play in really, really 2 good positions, especially on the right and in the centre, and we can move forward with that.
I'm sorry, Gabriel Jesus is clearing Tammy Abraham for me. I'm so sorry. I think I think Tammy is. You can call him a decent striker, you can call him a good striker. I think Tammy's got good qualities, and he definitely can score goals, but there's no way on earth.
I think that's what we're talking about, though, is like who's had the better last few seasons. Yeah, clear. Gabriel Jesus is the better of the 2. I think what we're meaning is, as much as we're happy with Gabriel Jesus, I think the profile of a striker is more of a Darwin Nunes, Tammy Abraham type. That's what I'm thinking.
So you want like a staple number 9, basically?
Yes,
an old school number 9. Bro, I hate him, but like Harry Kane, somebody like that has that attribute. You're not going to get someone of that quality. But what I'm getting at is that's the type of player that I'd like, that can have a little bit more of a all-round play. And I think when it comes to Gabriel Jesus, as much as I absolutely love, say again.
I think Jesus is crazy. Yeah, I think Jesus can offer you more centre forward Harry Kane qualities than Tammy Abraham. Genuinely, I believe he can.
Nah, I disagree.
But tell me, can I ask a question? But tell me, I think with his back to goal, Jesus is better than Tammy. I think his link up, Jesus is better. Dribbling, Jesus is better. Close control, Jesus is better. I'm not really sure what it is that Tammy Abraham brings. Even Darwin Nunes.
I think the one thing
Darwin Nunes only beats Jesus in the goals, in the finishing. That's the only thing I've seen. I think
finishing, but also there's a lot more of a target man and in the air heading ability from those 2, in my opinion.
Is that Darwin Nunes' game? And even Tammy Abraham, he ain't even a target man. How many? Be honest.
No, he's not.
How many games do you see Tammy Abraham occupy centre backs and play that back?
Yeah, and he doesn't pin them back.
He can't do that.
No, he doesn't pin them back. But I think with that Abraham thing, he's very agile. He's got great movement. He's got great movement. He gets into the position. Yeah, he does. Look, I think the most important thing. I think the most important thing.
We need 2, don't we? That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
So
I think Arteta, for Arteta's system, we know that Jesus is going to be like perfect. He's going to be that prone striker for Arteta. So look, like I think overall, it probably will be the better striker for Arsenal. But if you were asking me, I would have probably preferred someone else. Big up to the chat, because I'm seeing some crazy things in there. But yeah, it's too funny.
So big up LT Gaming as well for the donation as well. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, think Dan and Lee are we've spoken about this, but I'll read it out anyway. He says, think Dan and Lee are ignoring the fact that Jesus plays all around the line and his minutes are considerably low due to City rotating. Guys, I think, because me personally, I saw this news and I'll speak on it later, but some of your fans are so pathetic, man. Like the way they've been scrutinizing our window, every single thing we do, they're scrutinizing, they're talking this, that, and the third. And I'm like, bruh, why are you so pressed? Like, focus on your own business. This Gabriel Jesus news now, yeah. I'm not looking at this and thinking, oh, I'm not looking at this and thinking the first thing I'm gonna do is shit on Gabriel Jesus. And I think some of your fans, I've seen that as soon as the Basuma news broke on Tuesday, all of a sudden I was seeing, oh, Jacques is better than this guy. So today I heard someone tweet Torreira is better than Basuma. They were talking about reasons to keep Torreira, and he just randomly mentioned he's better than Basuma. I'm thinking, what the hell does Basuma have to do with Torreira? So I'm not looking at this with any sort of salty lens. I'm looking at this with a footballing lens. And I'm telling you guys, this is an excellent signing for Arsenal, in my opinion. And when you look at the price, I know he's got a year left, but when you look at the price, 42 million for a 25-year-old forward who can play across the front lines, who is capable of getting double figures and has done double figures. And I think one of the most important things to note about Gabriel Jesus is he's already at the champions. He's already at the pinnacle for Man City. He doesn't need to take a step down. He could easily sign a new contract and be a rotational piece. He could easily do that. But this guy is saying to himself, I want to be the main guy. I want to show people what I can do as the main guy. And we'll get on to Spurs' interest in the reason, which is why I never, even though I would have loved Gabriel Jesus, I never really thought we stood a chance in comparison to Arsenal here, because Arsenal, in the absence of Champions League, can offer him the one thing that we can't, which is
starting berth. Yeah, it's a starting berth.
Minutes.
Yeah.
Undisputed minutes. And like I'm sorry, I think the third point, that's the main point for me. He could easily take a paycheck at Man City and be at the top and win trophies, but he wants to come down and do his thing. Yeah. It's not even like he's shitting on Arsenal. I've not seen any comments to say where he's seeing Arsenal as a stepping stone. He genuinely wants to play. And with the World Cup around the corner as well, you know that there's determination from this guy to make this move the best move possible. I really think this is a dangerous signing, in my opinion. I genuinely do. And if I had it my way and it wasn't a thing of whether he's going to get more game time or not, I would be going hell for leather to sign Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, I think you know, when you look at how Arsenal fans are right now, I think they are so deflated, and this guy is going to 100% improve the team. I think where Arsenal fans get, I think, confused at times is that. Let me ask you this, right? You won't believe this stat. I heard this today. Harry Kane is Tottenham's top scorer, right? Not just last season. I'm talking about overall, right? So Kane has scored. I don't know. TOBS, tell me how many goals has he scored for Tottenham roughly? Harry Kane.
180,
190 nearly. Like no, all time. Like what's he got? Like all time. Like yeah.
He's got around like 200 and something.
There you go. Right. So let me ask you the same question for Arsenal now. And I'm not talking about the old players, the Thierry Henrys. I'm talking about currently. Who's the top scorer in this Arsenal side? Not just last season, in all of it. I'm going to tell you because you won't get it. He's got 27 goals and his name's Pepe and he can't get in the side. That's how bad things are at our club right now. We don't have a striker right now. We haven't actually got one on the books. The only one we've got is Balogun, and he's going to go back out on loan.
Well, so Eddie as well now.
And Eddie, but he hasn't officially signed yet. But Romano said he's going to. So it gets to the stage now where we are in a serious situation up top, where we need serious surgery in the forward lines, but also we need serious surgery in the midfield, and that's not even touching the fact that we also need a couple of backup fullbacks, and also, in my opinion, anyway. Another winger if Pepe does go. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how much of that does happen. But for Jesus, I'm happy with it. I mean, I'm happy with it because he's Premier League proven. He's a winner. The mentality's right. And Arteta obviously knows and likes him. And like you say, Tobes, as much as Tottenham are probably more of a pull at the moment this season anyway, because they've got the better manager than the Champions League.
Really?
Yeah, but Lee, they are, bro. They are, Lee.
I brought Dan Potts on because the voice because you got certain man who pretend as if Arsenal the be all and then
I don't.
No, but Lee, hear me out, bro. Right? If you're a footballer like Gabriel Jesus right now, let's take Bissouma, right? That apparently is an Arsenal fan, because Jesus is a bad example because he's obviously come to Arsenal. But Bissouma's looking at that thinking, right, I'm an Arsenal fan. Patrick Vieira is my idol. but I want to go play Champions League under an elite manager. That's what I think he must have thought. Now, it could be that Arsenal just not into him at all.
I
Yeah,
think
because
that
I don't want
Arsenal
him
just
at all.
didn't want him.
Right? Yeah, that could be the case. But my point is, if you're a footballer and you're thinking, I'm going to go and play Champions League football under Conte, or I'm going to play in the Europa League under Arteta, I think if you have the right mentality to want to win now, I think you're going to go to Tottenham, man. I can't lie. I think you are. And that's not because Tottenham are a bigger club and a better club than us, but right now, if I was a footballer, I'd go play Champions League football under Antonio Conte. I wouldn't go play Thursday nights under Mikel. I wouldn't do that. But that's just me. Maybe footballers are thinking they'll go and play under Mikel because they think he's amazing. But that's just, for me, it's just harsh reality, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, I mean, like this, maybe you could say semantics, whatever, but I do think that if most footballers will say, do you know what? It could be a sort of short-term pain for a long-term gain in terms of us going to Arsenal compared to Tottenham. That's just my opinion. I don't see Tottenham as a more exciting or better project. I really don't. But like that's not what we're here to talk about today. But
yeah. we can touch on it though. But we can talk on that after we've spoken.
Yeah, let's do it when we get to the Basuma stuff.
About Jesus. So I think the one thing which I do agree with you guys on. Let me just quickly read this super chat from Usman. He says, big up Usman for the super chat. He says, surprise TOBS is the one hyping the signing the most. Having someone else to link up with Saka will be huge. End of the season, there was only Odegaard. Interesting.
Look, even when we were at AFTV, I remember even Dan, like we were chatting and saying how like, look, we have no striker. So anybody better than Lacazette is like it's godsend, like because we know at this moment in time Martinelli's just not. He's not the guy right now to play up front. He's not got the levels. He's not got the hold up play. His runs sometimes are a little bit like lazy and all over the place. So we know he's got quality, but just him showing it on a consistent basis is the problem. I think Jesus is going to be an amazing striker for us, but my only worry is he going to be getting us those 20 to 25 goals? And is he going to be that clinical guy to get us that goal in that crunch moment? I've seen him do it before. I've seen him do it against Liverpool, but is he going to consistently do it? Because I want to know what his shot conversion is. Like, these are the things that I'm a little bit, is he like, I can talk all about how I don't think Harry Kane's this or that, but is he that world-class striker similar?
Nah, he's not. I think
that's all I'm saying.
And that I think that's a fair point. He's not. Listen, Arsenal. You had a player who was operating at an elite level in Aubameyang, who no matter what, no matter rain, snow, whatever, he was guaranteeing you minimum 15 to 20 league goals minimum. He was guaranteeing you. So that's the rate that you want to get back to. I think now Arteta's trying this thing where he wants to sort of spread the goals throughout your team. And I think in order for you to do that effectively, Jesus, in my opinion, you're right, isn't enough. I think as much as I like Gabriel Jesus, there needs to be another attacker in there. And where you lot have given Nketiah this new contract, it's either one of two things for me, yeah? It's either you bring in another striker, yeah, and you have three strikers, and then Eddie Nketiah is down to third choice. But then I think that also negates the whole point of giving Nketiah a new contract and 100k a week, because it's obvious that he's been made promises that he's going to get a game time similar to the level that he saw maybe towards the end of the season or lower now that Jesus is there. So the alternative to that for me is you have to bring in another forward. So not someone who is wedded to playing up front, because it seems like that's Jesus and Nketiah to duke it out. But bring in another guy on the left-hand side who's going to bag goals. And no, I'm not just talking about ESR's 12 goals or 11 goals he scored and then dried up for the second half of the season. And I'm not criticizing ESR. He's a young kid. It's going to happen. He's a good player, a really, really good player. I like ESR. But what I'm saying is you need reliability in that front line. Saka, currently, before Jesus signs, Saka is the only attacker, in my opinion, that you can actually rely upon for a consistent product. I don't think you can rely on Emil Smith-Rowe to the level you can rely on Saka. I don't think you can rely on Martinelli to the level you rely on Saka. So when Gabriel Jesus comes in, I think you lot need to be looking at another forward who can get double figures. And I'm talking strong double figures in the league. In the league. I ain't even talking about Europa League. I'm talking about strong double figures in the league. 13 to 15 Premier League goals.
Like who though? So who would you want if you're a Gooner? Who would you want? Like realistically, who are you like? Who are you describing?
You should be going all out for Serge Gnabry, bro. You should. I know it's optimistic. But he's having issues. He's having issues at Bayern Munich. Yeah. He doesn't like the fact that Bayern Munich delayed and stalled on his contract. Yeah. Apparently, Bayern are offering this guy up to like 300,000 a week or something like that, and he's turned it down. He doesn't want to. He doesn't feel appreciated. And this guy has spoken so many times about Arsenal. He's been slutting himself up for Arsenal, saying he'd like to come back there, here and there. Be ambitious and make a move for him. You'd rather make a move.
See, I agree. The two I had was Gnabry and Rafinha. They're the two that I had.
Rafinha's another one as well. He got 10. He got what? He got double figures in the relegated lead side. Imagine what he can get with a better midfield behind him.
I agree.
And a better forward line to work.
The only reason why I would prefer to go for the striker is because I think we do have quite a few options in those wider players. We do have Martinelli, we do have ESR, we do have Saka. We still, no matter what you say, we still have Pepe. We are clearly lacking that centre forward. We can play Jesus on the right or possibly on the left if needed, and obviously through the centre. So I think that I would definitely prefer a striker. And obviously we spoke about it sort of a little bit earlier on. But if those rumours are even possible for Osimhen, I am all over that. Like, as much as I love Gnabry, Gnabry, I love him, but I really would prefer an out-and-out striker. I would prefer a Tammy. I would prefer an Osimhen any day of the week, personally.
Can I just take a pause there as well? Just there's 284 of you lot in here, man. Please smash a like already. We're giving you this content late after Love Island. It's not easy. It ain't easy. Word to Saeed. All we ask is a couple things. Smash the like button. And Lee, how many subscribers are you on right now on your channel?
Do you know what? I'm not even sure. I'm probably on about 20, but I'm I'm trying to get to 50 and just start getting followers. Follow.
So there's 282 people in here. There's no reason why you can't get at least 100 by the end of this stream. At least.
Yeah.
So people, click the link in the description. The link is in the description. If you open the description and you scroll down to Lee's socials, you'll see Lee's channel there. Click the link and hit the subscribe button. It takes 10 seconds. It doesn't deviate away from the stream as well. You can still hear what we're saying, and then scroll up to the title and make sure you subscribe to Dan Potter's channel. Dan has recently launched his channel, Football's 12th Man Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the channel already. Listen, you guys are Arsenal fans. Most of you lot that are listening to this, you're Arsenal fans. So you shouldn't be coming to me for content, although I appreciate it. You should be going to these guys. So subscribe to their channel. Let's get Lee to at least 100 subs by the end of the stream, yeah? And you'll check that periodically, and I'll make sure to make a note of it periodically as well through the stream. And of course, people, make sure you smash a like. Make sure you smash that like. Okay. Now let's talk on. So
I think we should go to Spurs. Let's go to Spurs, man.
No. This is only about Arsenal. You don't need to talk about Spurs. I've spoken about Spurs there. This is purely about Arsenal. I still want to. So. Let's stick back on Jesus, yeah? Let's stick back on Jesus. So, realistically, obviously, it looks like as if he's coming in now. He's already got that relationship with Arteta. He's going to be given the responsibility to play and lead the line. What are your, irrespective of whoever comes in or who else you need, what are your expectations for Gabriel Jesus? Like, in fact, sorry, not expectations. What are you demanding from Gabriel Jesus? What are his objectives as Arsenal's leading man next season as it stands? How many goals, how many big game contributions, etc., etc.? I want you to articulate it to me, and I'll start with you, Dan.
Listen, I'm not gonna change my opinion on what I want my centre forward to be doing. So for me, Gabriel Jesus has to get as close to 20 goals as he can, in my opinion. Whether that's 15, whether that's 16, I don't care. I want to see more than the 8 that he scored last season for Man City, that's for sure. If he's going to be this signing that's going to start with a potential 5, then we need to be ensuring that he's getting as close to 20 goals this season. And then, of course, the pressure's on the other players around him as well, because that doesn't mean that it's all going through Gabriel Jesus now. I want to see Saka and Smith Rowe on double figures again. I want to see Ødegaard start to put in more, because Ødegaard does not score enough goals for me. So, as far as I'm concerned, Gabriel Jesus gets towards 20, that is what I believe any striker should try to aim to do. And Gabriel Jesus is no different, just because he's, like you say, more of a link-up player at times. For me, it has to be close to 20, man.
So is that 20 in the league or 20 all comps?
Yeah, 20 in the league, bro.
20 in the league. Okay, fair.
You know what? I'm going to sort of agree. I think going off you guys' points as well, if he's come to Arsenal wanting to be the main man, you've got to step up, got to show us what you like, show who you are, and sort of prove and provide that sort of service to us. I did want to ask Dan a quick question about Jesus.
Before you do, Lee, folks, for those who are watching as well, can you put in your thoughts? How many goals do you expect? Arsenal fans, put in how many goals you're demanding Jesus gets this upcoming season. Put it in the comments. In the Premier League. Go on, Lee. Sorry.
So I just wanted to know, like, where do you want him to play? Because I know there's a lot of rumours that he can play quite well on the right, and we've seen it as well. We saw it against Liverpool. We've seen it in some of the big games that he can sort of really pin those fullbacks backwards, and sort of make those runs behind those fullbacks and sort of like the sort of left centre back. But do you want him to play through the middle? Or do you want him to play on the wings? Obviously for Arsenal.
I feel like if we get another centre forward that is the type of profile that I was talking about earlier, I'm happy to coming off from the left. But if we're only going to have him and Nketiah, then of course I want to see him down the middle. I spoke to Big Steve and he said he actually thinks he's better down the middle. He said that. He said he thinks he's better down the middle. So it'll be interesting for me to see what Mikel Arteta wants as his number 9. And if it is going to be a Gabriel Jesus as the number 1 striker, then I think we will see him down the middle. And that, I think, will be interesting for not just Arsenal, but I think that will be interesting for the Premier League, because he's never been seen as the Aguero replacement for the last couple of seasons. And when he did come in and start to just dip in and out, it wasn't really like we saw Gabriel Jesus all the time. It was Foden there sometimes, Sterling there sometimes.
Yeah.
So now let's see what happens with Gabriel Jesus as a centre forward.
He's got to prove
I'm going off the premise he's come to Arsenal to be the main man, and he's not going to come to even probably want to be on the right hand side or the left hand side. He's done that. He's proven that already. He wants to play down the middle. So I need at least 20 goals in all comps. I'm talking about at least. I'm looking at more closer to 25, 27 in all comps, because we are in 4 competitions and we have obviously bought a couple of players. So I'm looking at, I mean, if he's playing 50 games a season, 45 games a season, I'm looking at he needs to start pulling his weight a little bit. And you've got to think 42 million. Yeah, it's not the highest fee, but it is, considering that he's only got 1 year left on his contract. So the proportion, the rate of obviously the sell or the fee for him, as well as the contract, it is quite a lot. So I'm looking at a good amount. I need more than, I'm seeing a lot of people put 15 and 12. I need more than that.
Fair. To be honest, I don't actually think you lot are being unrealistic. I don't. To be honest, I don't expect Gabriel Jesus to hit 20 Premier League goals. But you know what? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You're the main man now.
I'm
the
main
man now.
Yeah.
You're the main man now at a supposed big club. I'm going to call Arsenal, I think by history, by tradition, yes, you're a big club. So you're the leading striker and he will get sufficient game time. A lot of those appearances where he had for Man City, they're no longer going to be 20-minute appearances here and there. You're going to get consistent game time. You're going to get undisputed, uninterrupted game time, barring injury. So let's see what he can do, man. I personally think he's gonna smash it out.
We've all said as well that Nunes should be getting 15 goals minimum first season. So yeah. I don't see any reason why Jesus shouldn't get maybe near enough double that. Like, I don't think that's a crazy expectation if he's going to be that guy that we're all talking about.
I think you made a good point, Lee, and I think you said 20 goals in all comps. I think he has to be aiming for that. That should be the bar. The minimum should be the bar. 20 in all comps. You should be able to do 20 in all comps. Playing in the Europa League, playing in the League Cup, playing in the Carabao, playing in the Premier League. You should be able to do 20 as the leading guy at Arsenal. I'm sorry, that's got to be the target for Jesus. I think he has to put the pressure on himself for that as well. Big up LT Gaming as well for another super chat. He says Jesus, Osimhen, Saka. So that's an interesting one. And before we answer that, people, check-in point again. Lee, how many subscribers are you on?
Let me have a quick look. Look. So before, I saw like 30. So they're creeping. They're creeping.
Okay, people. So there's 326 now. 326 people in here watching live. Couple of favors that we need you to do for us, yeah. Otherwise we stop the stream. I'm joking. Scroll down to the description. Scroll down to the description and hit Lee's channel. Click on Lee's channel under Lee's socials and hit the subscribe button. Hit the
Good
subscribe
content's
button.
coming, man. Good content's coming over the summer.
Yeah. Hit the subscribe button and subscribe to his channel now, and then scroll up and subscribe to Potts' channel in the title as well, Football's 12th Man Podcast. And whilst you're at it, give me a subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel already. And last of all, make sure you like the video as well. Yeah, let's get back to it. So here's one: Jesus, Osimhen, Saka, or Saka, Jesus, Rafinha. I'm
going straight. I think it's the easiest thing. I think the first section, Jesus, Osimhen, and Saka, all day, every day.
You know what? I love Big Vic. I can't lie. I love Big Vic, my Nigerian brother. But I think I'm gonna go with Saka, Jesus, Rafinha. You know.
I'm going for the first. I just think Osimhen is such a good striker, and I think what he can offer to any team, not even just Arsenal, but what he can offer to Arsenal is. You can't replace him. You know what Pep said. Like I just can't replace. Like you just can't replace that. Like he's so good, and I think what he would, the goals that he would get, the different types of goals as well. I think again with Jesus, is he? I mean, I'm not saying this, but is he a little bit of a one-trick pony? Like if it's not working for him, can he change his game throughout the game? Can he do something different? I think with Osimhen, he can bully. He can score. He can leap from like any position and score headers. I mean, I feel like he's got the pace and the power. And when people say P&P, he really does have both of those in abundance. And I think for him, he's proven it at Napoli, which is obviously a smaller club, that he can score goals with a team that's possibly not at the top echelon, and he's getting goals.
But there's the argument to be had that this guy. If your expectation is 20 league goals, he's never scored more than 15 league goals. Even in the French league, he did score more than 15 league goals.
Yeah, so he left when he was 20, 21, and then he went.
Yeah, Osimhen is a good player, but I feel like Jesus' game is a lot more refined than Osimhen's. I don't really think you can look at Osimhen and flat out, in my opinion, but it's just my opinion, I don't think I can flat out say Osimhen is a better striker than Jesus. I don't think I can say that.
I think when I look at what's the least risky front three, it would be Rafinha, Jesus and Saka, because they're all Premier League proven and they're all killing it in the Premier League. And when you look at, maybe they're not killing it, but you get my point. They're all suited to the Premier League. Osimhen will be a risk because he's a different league. So I like him a lot. I really like him. I
like him as well. And I think this is a great point as well. So Lee mentioned the leap, the aerial prowess as well. Jesus is good in the air, but Osimhen, I feel like what he lacks in maybe sort of finesse, he makes up for in sheer power. Like I know it may fit the stereotype, but he is really a powerful striker. Like he really likes to impose his physical quality on centre backs. It takes a really, really strong centre back to deal with him. But I do think at times, I think that's all that he can show. The finishing is good, the heading is good, but I think at times when the game needs a bit more intricacy, you can't just bulldoze your way through a match, and I think there needs to be more. Listen, I think the striker market is so fucked up these days because like paying 80 or 90 million doesn't even guarantee you. It don't even guarantee you 20 Premier League goals. Like long gone are the days where Man United signed Van Persie for 26 million and that won them the league, 20 something league goals. Man City signed Aguero for around 30 odd million.
Barcelona bought Henry for 16 million, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
but
it's gone nuts.
I think the scariest thing is if Arteta's tactic is solid enough, and that's obviously the jury's out on that one, then Jesus will be an amazing striker. But if his tactic and his formation and sort of the game plan isn't as good, then obviously it's all null and void. But I think for Arteta right now, Jesus is the better striker. Like no matter what, like I just feel like he's gonna fit.
That's what's going to be nuts though, because name me one striker Mikel Arteta's got the best out of so far. I can't name one. So that's why this is going to be so important, because
Do you think
we
it's
are
the,
now
do
getting.
you think it's the striker, or do you think that he really just thinks this is my formation, this is my tactic, this is my game plan every single game. If you don't fit into it or you don't toe the line, you're off, and he's just not forgiving with it like that.
Yeah,
That's
I think that's right. And I think it's definitely not that those strikers were poor. I think it's the system has not suited any of them so far. So now there's no more excuses about this is not my striker, because he's going to have potentially Osimhen and Jesus. And you know what? Going back to that point before, why can't we have Rafinha as well? Like, this is what we need to be doing. This is not like we've got 15 players in these positions. We are down to the bare bones. Why can't we put in a bid in for Rafinha, Osimhen, and Jesus? Why? And Fabio Vieira. Do you know what I mean? So this is what we need to do.
Yeah, I think you lot need shooters, man. You need to pad that team with reliable goal scorers. I think what then happens though is, what about the players that certain sections of your fan base have gassed up?
I was just about to say.
Lee and a few others. What about the players that have been gassed up to the moon? What happens with a Martinelli? What happens with a Pepe? I heard Pepe is on his way out this summer. Is that true?
Yeah, it could be. It just need a buyer, man. I don't know what we're going to accept for him, but he ain't going to get more than 20 million. But before Lee comes in on that, because I think he's got a different opinion to me on it, I personally like all of the players. I don't gas them up to the high hill, but I think our young players are great. What the difference I've got with it is that these young players are great, but they shouldn't be relied upon as much as they are being. Because when we had young players before at Highbury, they were learning off of the Vieiras, Henry and Bergkamps, and these young lads are it. There's nobody to learn off of. They are it. They've had Lacazette and Xhaka to learn off of. They're not leaders or winners or the mentality I want around the club. Both of them need to be gone, and now luckily one of them has. The other one hopefully will follow if we get a couple of midfielders in. So when I see these young kids, I feel for them. Because when people like, neutral fans are being harsh on Saka because he hasn't scored in 6 games, yeah, the kid's 20 years old, man. I didn't expect him to. I didn't expect him to get double figures this season, if I'm honest with you, because the kid's 19. So I look at it, and as well as Smith Rowe and Martinelli, to be fair, and think they look bright sparks. But just because they're not scoring 20 goals each season doesn't mean they're not going to be this great players. They need some help. And that's what we need to see now. So Rafinha and Jesus, and if we were to go for a Gnabry, they can play ahead of them. That's fine by me. Doesn't mean Saka, Martinelli and Smith Rowe will never get a look in. We've got 4 competitions and we need to rotate, and there's 5 subs next year. So we're going to need a squad, man.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what,
I think a lot of people aren't making. Sorry, Lee. I think a lot of people aren't making enough of the fact that teams are going to have 5 subs. So it's in your best interest to pad this team to the best of your quality, because it could really be the difference between the likes of 4th spot and 5th spot, or 3rd spot and 4th spot, or a trophy and runners up. Like, teams are going to be allowed to flex their muscles a lot more. And I think, listen, people are going to shit on the bigger clubs for having more resources, having better players. Listen, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. I don't really understand it. Take advantage of it. But before I bring you in, Lee, I'm doing the checkpoint again. People, 388. We're nearly close to 400 live viewers. So again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but all I'm asking for is for you lot to subscribe to these lot's channels. Yeah, hit the description and check Lee's channel under Lee's socials. Hit that link and subscribe to his channel right now. Let's get him up in the sub count. Yeah. If everyone subscribed to his channel on this stream, you'd have close to 400 subs. So I can't see any reason why you can't hit at least 100. I don't really understand that. That doesn't make sense.
And I'm 200 away from 2K people. So if you
which
can
is
help
ridiculous.
Me
That'd
be amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So
get them likes up as well, man. Get them likes up.
So Lee, let's add another 100 subs to that, and Potts, let's add 200 subs. So we need to get you to 2K Potts, and we need to get you to at least 100 subs, Lee, as well. So hit the link, people, for Lee's channel, and then hit the link in the title for Dan Potts' channel as well. So keep doing that, people. Thank you for that.
People. Cheers, Tobi.
Yeah, no problem. So Lee, sorry, I'm gonna bring you in now. You wanted to make a point.
I think with the whole buying another winger, I feel like it's the type of winger is really, really kind of difficult to go for because I'm such a huge advocate and a fan of Saka and what he does. I don't want his minutes to be drastically dropped. Now, for me, it's hard. It's a double-edged sword because I don't want him to be overplayed as well, which is obviously a massive problem because you see at the end of the season he's starting to like tire and his effectiveness within the game obviously was waning a lot. But I just think like there's certain types of wingers that we know that will come in and they will demand to start. And I just don't feel like it's going to be to the benefit of Arsenal if we kind of take too many minutes away from Saka. I definitely know and understand that it's a team game. And obviously you have to think about now, which is a really important factor. Are players going to want to come to top teams and sit on the bench when it's a World Cup year? And you also have to think, and it's really important, is that once they sign, they can't move until January. The World Cup's already gone by then. So they have to make the right decision for them and their nationality, their national team, sorry. So this move is it's really, really important. But I just feel like the Gnabry thing, I would love it, but I just feel like it will take so much away from Saka. And I know when you raise the profile of the kind of quality in the team, it raises all the other players. But I think I almost feel like Saka's a bit of a made man already. Like,
but you know what? But this is the thing you're doing, the thing that the doubts that you have, the clubs that you're aspiring to be, they don't have these doubts. They just buy. They just buy because they know that they need to. It's the difference between winning or not. Bukayo Saka, I think he might have played the most minutes of any of your.
Yeah, he did.
I'm sure he played the most minutes of any of your attackers last year, and you could clearly see the effect that had on him towards the end of the season. And that's in a season where
you think that comes down to Arteta because he never ever plays Pepe for whatever reason. He never plays Pepe. So we did have a £72 million player on the bench who he doesn't want to play for whatever his reason is. So for me, I'm just looking at it and I'm like, I don't get the issue with Pepe. I don't get why.
I get the issue with Pepe. I think Arteta could be playing him more. I think so. It's like with Steven Bergwijn now, for instance. I think Bergwijn should have had way more minutes under Conte than he got. I think he should have come on before Lucas Moura. But I also think on the same side that Steven Bergwijn isn't good enough for Spurs and needs to be sold. And I'm not even trying to stick up for Arteta here. I'm just looking at it in isolation. Pepe could easily play more minutes. But I think Pepe has shown that even when you give this guy minutes, even with some of the goals he scores here and there, he's just not good enough for Arsenal right now. And I think Pepe, he's got enough quality for him to go to a different club and feel that love and maybe do better. But I think Pepe's time is up at Arsenal now, man. He ain't that guy. And I genuinely believe that if you don't actually replace Pepe properly and put in, because I think Rafinha and Saka on the same flank is redundant in my opinion. It's dumb. I would put they're too good in my opinion to have one on the bench. One has to start. Exactly. But I think if you had a proper player who could come in behind Saka and step in and rotate and compete, I think you would see a better product there. I think you would. Yeah. I think as much as I hate Arteta, I think he would be able to play him more. I know it's weird. I think he's definitely got an agenda against Pepe. That one, he's definitely got an agenda against Pepe. But I also think Pepe just isn't good enough right now to play for Arsenal.
But this is my point. My point isn't getting another winger. My point is getting the right type of winger. I don't feel like getting a Gnabry is gonna be. I don't feel like it's gonna be good for Saka. I just don't. I feel like getting Saka, so getting Gnabry, it literally it's just a pitfall for Saka. And you got to think he's got 2 years left. Why is he going to want to sign? I just don't. Why? I'm thinking if I'm Saka, I'm not going to want to sign if Gnabry comes and he signs a 5-year deal. What does that do for me?
But I think it raises the standard at your club because what you got to bear in mind is Gnabry had his best season for Bayern Munich coming off the left. Yeah, Gnabry is a natural right footer. Yeah, he plays left wing. He can come in on the left hand side and he can shoot. He can score. And I think having a player like Gnabry at 27 years old playing his prime, those are the type of players that will make a player like Bukayo Saka do the opposite of leave. They'll stay because they'll see that you guys are attracting these players that are, by all accounts, playing for the elite clubs and have done big things on the big stage. in my opinion, I think signing someone like Gnabry can only be a positive effect at Arsenal. I really don't see the
I
drawbacks.
think as well. Like
Yeah,
we
no,
need to
for Arsenal,
realise.
I'm talking about for Saka. For
Yeah, for
Arsenal,
Saka,
fair enough.
no, for Saka, I think it'll be good as well. Imagine having Gnabry on the left and Saka on the right. They'll wreak
I
havoc.
think
They'll wreak
we need
havoc.
to realise as well, like where we are now and where we were when we were winning things, because if you remember, Lee, we weren't having Kanu and Wiltord can't get in this side.
Yeah.
Ray Parler isn't getting in. Reyes, we've just signed him, he can't get in. Van Persie and Fabregas aren't getting the game time. That was where we were when we were winning stuff. So we need to get back to that now. And as much as I love Saka, and if I'm honest with you, bro, I think Saka will play anyway. Whoever we buy, I think he's in. I think he's done.
Yeah.
I think he's the gem, jewel of the crown. So I think he's coming in wherever. I think we need to look realistically at how thin our squad is and say, do you know what? If it takes me from Martinelli and Saka a little bit longer next season to get a run of games, then so be it, because the players ahead of them will be better than them. And that's always a good thing if they're better than them, because for me, they're three of our brightest sparks. So, it's going to be a busy summer, man. It's going to have to be anyway.
One thing that I do like is the fact that we all know that, and we've seen Saka on the left side is absolutely as good as he is on the right side. He's just so good. So I do think that is another option. Obviously, you can have Gnabry or Rafinha on the right, and you can obviously have Saka on the left. But then you throw into the whole Martinelli and ESR problem. So, but I mean, look, like either way, like I'm not saying for the club it raises the profile, it raises the standard. These are all things which I'm definitely feeling and I want, but I just feel like I just don't want to take too many minutes away from some of our young gems, because they are quality and they shouldn't be playing as many minutes and as many times per season. But like, I just don't want to cut it too much.
Yeah, no. Listen, I get the concern, but listen, Arsenal need to. You lot have been mudded, man. You need to run. Like, I ain't even taking a piss now. I'm being dead serious. I say the same for Spurs. You need to elevate. We're two sides that are constantly trying to improve and trying to get back to a place where we're actually respected. And the only way you get respected, the only way you get points, the only way you get results, the only way you move up that table is if you pad your team with quality. Yeah, that's the way I see it. Saka is good enough to have the likes of Jesus, Rafinha, and Co in his team and still play a starting and main role for Arsenal. So I don't really see the issue personally there. I wanted to talk on this point though, because obviously you lot signed this Marquinhos done, yeah. So where does he fit this season? Is he going to go out on loan? And you tell me about the state of your attack, because it's clear that one more needs to come in, whether that's going to be out wide or whether that's going to be central. But you guys, it's weird. You have, so obviously Lacazette is left in the free. Martinelli, what role is he going to play this upcoming season? What role is ESR going to play this upcoming season? Like, what does this new look Arsenal attack actually look like?
Well, I think the new look Arsenal attack is gonna be yet to be seen. I don't know that we have a new look attack just yet. Even with the signing of Jesus, I still think there's more needed, and I personally believe that there needs to be a new front three coming in. Now Saka will play, but I don't think he needs to play as many games, particularly without European football. You look knackered. So what's he going to be like next season in all four competitions? The 5 sub things will help 100%, but I think with Jesus coming in and maybe that centre forward coming in, I think you might have 2 there along with Saka. I don't see a place for Martinelli and Smith Rowe in this first 11 next season, because personally, I don't think the output has been there for Martinelli, and Smith Rowe hasn't been able to have, towards the latter part of the season, a run of games where he's been consistently able to keep fit and continue scoring goals. So if there's 2 to miss out at the front 3, then it would be those 2 that missed out, I believe. So the new front line for me is going to probably consist of Saka and the 2 that we sign. As for Marquinhos, I have no idea what this guy's like. I don't know if he's the next Martinelli, or I don't know if he's the next Wellington Silva, for those Arsenal fans that will remember him. I don't know if this is going to be a guy that we just loan out and never see again, or if he's going to be part of the squad and the replacement for Pepe when he's sold. I don't know enough about this guy yet at all. So it'll be interesting for me to see what Arteta's and Edu's look on this guy is. Is he going to be somebody that we look to rotate with, along with the Martinellis and Sakas and Smith Rowes, or is he going to be needed to go and get some experience out in England on loan? That is yet to be seen, man.
Interesting. And before we continue on this chat, because I actually like this chat, people, 440 of you lot in here again. I'm doing the usual periodic check-in. Subscriber count as well. Lee, what are you on? Because we need.
I am on 48. I am on 48 subscribers. Mate, I will be very, very happy. I'll be happy with the 50 that I kind of had as an aim, like as a start, mate.
That's not good enough. That's not good enough. We need to get you to 100 people. There's 442 of you lot in here. Just it takes 5 seconds. Literally, click the link in the description under Lee's socials. You'll see a link titled Lee's channel. Click that link right now and just hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
All it takes is even 60 man that watching this to click that, and bang, you're on 100 subs. Let's do that. And 440 again. Hit the title. Hit the link in the title. Football's Top Man podcast. Potter's new pod or new channel. He's 170 away from 2K now, because I think I've just checked that you're on 1.83 now. So people, smash the likes, man. Smash the likes. Get Potts to 2K. Get Lee to over 100 subs on this channel. Like, let's do this, man. Let's support people who are actually giving you a lot of content free of charge off their own back. And smash the likes as well. Yeah, smash the likes, people. Smash the likes. It's late. It's past 11 o'clock and we're still going. So you can do us that courtesy. But yeah, let's talk. Listen, I feel like we've spoken about your attack. Me, in my opinion, I still think there's still like a couple moving pieces in this attack. So I want to see what it's saying. But like, one thing I will say is this: now that I've been impartial, I just want to say these attackers that your fan base have gassed to the moon. I'm waiting next season. Nketiah, yeah. I don't think he's. Admittedly, I'll give Nketiah some props. He's definitely better than I gave him credit for. But now that he's got the number 14, 100 bags a week, how many goals are we expecting from Nketiah next season? Because now all of a sudden I'm hearing from certain parts of your fan base that Nketiah is this, Nketiah is that, Nketiah is this. Oh, blah blah blah. So tell me how.
Do you know what? I just want to say a quick point on Nketiah. Do you know what? I remember I did a watch along for the Arsenal, so Chelsea versus Arsenal. And I pretty much slated him for the first one season. I'll be honest, I say it, I don't mind. I was chatting to Robbie, Turkish, and I was just saying a whole bunch of stuff which I believe to be true. And it was the same week where he went on the Beautiful Game podcast, and he said a lot. And I was just like, this is coming from a guy who's had multiple opportunities and he's never taken any of them. Since then, he you know what he. I like Dan's sort of sentence that he was using throughout the season about the humble pie with Arteta. And you know what? He had it in the oven, and it's cooked. It's cooked. He proved me wrong, because he was showing me that he can do a lot better than what I believed he can do. So for me, I'm not actually that annoyed with Nketiah signing, and I think for a third choice striker, if we're going to pay for a third choice striker, we're going to have to pay 30 million nowadays, as we've all spoken about already. 25 to 30 million. Apparently, his contract, the worth of it, I know it's on 100k for 4 to 5 years. That does equate to about 30 million. So I don't really see as much of an issue with it. Obviously, we've spoken about the fact that he shouldn't be second choice. I think he should be third choice. But look, for me, I feel like does he deserve 100k? No.
That's crazy money for me.
Am I that upset?
Where's that come from?
No.
Where the hell has that come? Where the hell has that valuation come from?
But my point is, again, does he deserve the 100k? No. But is he a 30 million pound striker? Probably, I'll say about 15 to 20. But if we had to replace him, then we're going to have to spend the money anyway. So we may as well keep a guy who actually does seem to be improving. So look, it's hard. It's a hard one. We all know he's not worth that money, and we all know that he's not going to get probably not going to get the opportunities. But look, like, he's here, he's signed, he's got the number 14, which a lot of people are saying, and I've seen as well. Which
should have been retired. Why the fuck is that number still floating about? That number has to be retired. I'm sorry. Nobody should be done in the number 14 at Arsenal. I'm sorry. That's a joke. That's a joke.
I know it's sad, but look, at the end of the day, like, he's here, and I think he can do a job. I think he's very serviceable. Like, I know Dan's got his opinion, and he's within his rights, and a lot of what Dan says I agree with, but I just don't. I'm not that harsh, and I'm going to be that down on that signing. I just don't think it's as bad as what it looks like on paper.
Dan?
Yeah, I don't like it, bro. I can't lie. I don't like
He's
it.
spoken about this. That's why I asked it.
I don't like it. It's not
And
that I
that's not
have
me saying
anything.
that he's a world beater, by the way. I don't want to see like I'm not saying he's a world beater. I'm just saying I just don't think he's as
he's,
bad. But
he's shown you something, basically. He's
yeah,
shown you something. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and as much as he deserved the plaudits towards the end of the season with the goals and contributions, I still don't see him as the answer going forward. And if he's going to come in and be the fourth choice or the third choice, then fair play. But signing on 100k a week contract for that, I think is a madness. So I can imagine that he probably is going to be utilised by Mikel Arteta because this guy loves him. I mean, he played him all the time that he could, ahead of the likes of Martinelli through the centre, Pepe at any time, any substitution opportunity. Eddie Nketiah was coming on. He's the plan B when Lacazette wasn't firing, which to be fair was most of the season. Bring on Eddie Nketiah. I don't see that this guy is going to give us what we need, but he looks like he's going to be here. To give him the number 14 shirt, to put him on 100k a week, I think is a bit of a madness for me. However, if it's going to be a case of him coming in and we get the other striker as well as Gabriel Jesus, then I don't see Eddie Nketiah scoring many goals next season because I don't see him in the team much. So if he can get 5 in all competitions, then that's probably not a bad return rate for what I think he's going to play. So we'll see what happens. Depends. If Arteta keeps him as the second choice, then he's probably going to get more opportunities than I'm giving him credit for. But I'm hoping that we're going to get that other number 9 and that we do not need to see much of Eddie Nketiah next season. But let's see what happens, man.
Do you know what, Dan? I just want to ask you a quick question as well. I know these numbers nowadays don't mean as much because clearly ESR's got the number 10 as well. But do you think the fact that Jesus is coming in, he's going to have the number 9 because Lacazette's gone? That's 100%. And we've got Nketiah, who's got the number 14. That actually just sums up that we're not getting another striker. I think that just shows straight away that we're not getting another striker because any striker that comes in, what number will they take? I know it's semantics again, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think I'm quite old school. I like numbers on backs. A lot of people don't care. They just say, give me the number 99, give me the number 1. I don't give a damn. I actually quite like it. I'm very old school. I like the 1 to 11 in the positions that I think they should be in. Having said that, I do think there are some crazy numbers out there that people love. For example, Granit Xhaka loves the 34. He's had it everywhere he's gone. There's the Yaya Toure, didn't he love number 42? Didn't Nicholas Bentner have the number 52 at one stage for us? So there's some crazy takes from players that just take any shirt number. But I think you're right. If you was to look at the 1 to 11 there's only the number 11 shirt, I think. Oh no, that's now Martinelli's got
Martinelli,
that. So there isn't actually any shirt numbers at the moment 1 to 11, like you say. But I personally don't feel too much about the squad numbers, and I think we will get another centre forward because we just simply have to, in my opinion.
Regular checkpoint, guys. We're nearly at 500 live viewers, so it's 480. What's this? 484. So people, the usual. I can't believe I keep having to repeat myself, but scroll down to the description.
Get them lights up as well, man. Let's get them lights up.
Scroll down to this description. Click on Lee's channel under Lee's socials. Hit the subscribe button. It takes 5 seconds and it does him a world.
64 likes, people. 64, not many to 100.
Yeah, exactly. So you're gonna get it before the end of the stream. No worries. Don't trust me. I'll guarantee you that. No problem. And Dan Potts, I think moved. In fact, no. Get Dan Potts' numbers up as well. He's on 1.83. Let's get him to 2K before this ends. Let's get him to 2K.
Let's go. He's got quality content, man. Quality. I watch a lot of this stuff.
So, and smash the likes, people. Honestly, smash the likes. All of these little things that you may think is nothing, it goes a long way for us. It really does.
It really does, man.
Let's get back on Arsenal. Yeah. I said I'm not going to talk about Spurs, so I'm actually not going to talk about Spurs. I talk about Spurs all the time. So I will put out more vids on Spurs tomorrow. Before I go on my mate stag do. So yeah, watch out. I'm on the prowl this weekend. Nah, I'm not. I'm chatting.
Nice.
I'm chatting shit. My girl will film me if she heard that anyway.
Hey, listen.
Nah, I'm not at all. I'm not until she knows I'm joking. But anyway, let's talk on Arsenal's other news that broke today. Now, this one shocked me because one, I thought you were good. If anything, Tielemans would be the first midfielder you'd announce a deal for. And two, because I don't think I've watched this guy play at all. I didn't even know who he was until he was mentioned by Fabrizio and Gary Jacob today, who's actually quite credible. But you lot have seemingly agreed a deal in lightning speed for this Fabio Vieira guy. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to hand over to you guys. Lee, I want you to start. What's your take on this signing, and what issue does this address in your midfield?
The first thing I was going to say is the actual speed of the signing is one that I'm just not used to, and I have to give praise to Arsenal, which I mean I don't normally do to the board. Edu. The other thing is, it seems that his release clause was 50 million, and we've obviously paid 32, I think, with add-ons, which is obviously below the release clause. And there's a sort of running joke within the Arsenal community that Edu can only get players that are on a release clause, and he can't sell anyone. So again, let's give him credit for that, because I mean, we only praise Liverpool for that, and their sort of owners for kind of doing that kind of stuff. I think the hole that it plugs is, I think that's a real kind of step in the stone of actually removing Xhaka from the team. He is a very progressive passer, and he's actually quite a fun and exciting player. I think I saw a sort of stat about him today as well, that his ratio of progressive passes and assists is up there with some of the best in the whole of Europe. So he's definitely going to be one that is going to be linking that play between obviously the likes of Lokonga and Partey to the attacking forward line. I think obviously the jury's going to be out with him, but we have seen a lot of Portuguese players. And I was speaking about this earlier today, and I don't know what you two will think as well. Would obviously chime in whenever. That the German league, a lot of players from the German league, they seem to come here and struggle. Whereas a lot of players from the Portuguese league, even though the league is probably not as good, the players adapt a lot better to this league. And obviously you've seen, even though he's not a Portuguese player, but you've seen like someone like Luis Diaz come in and just hit the ground running. And I tweeted a few years ago that this Fabio Vieira guy, I remember watching it on the 21s, and he just reminded me exactly of Isco, like to a T. And I think this is what we've been missing, that kind of guy that can either step in for Odegaard and just or be that left sort of connector and creator is so a lot of people saying that again, that Odegaard, he reminds me of a bit of an Odegaard, but more I just saw him. And I remember Isco from like 2008, 2010 times, and he was just absolutely out of this world. And I'm very, very happy with this signing. I would have been happier if we did get Bissouma as well with him, but look, that's for a different day.
At least you're real. At least what I'll respect is for once, Lee, you're actually being honest and being real when it comes to Spurs signings. A lot of the weird fans in your fan base were doing think pieces on why Bissouma wasn't needed and why he's not that great a signing. And some were saying some mad shit about his case and calling him names with info that hasn't even been confirmed.
Happens, bro.
Childish,
bro.
It's funny as well, because I remember watching Dan on Lee Judge's channel maybe about 3 months ago, and he was obviously you was also screaming Bissouma. I don't know, it probably was about 3 months ago. I remember watching.
Bro, everyone would have.
Honestly, like I would have been so happy if we got Bissouma as well as a Vieira or a Tielemans, because I just feel like that would have just been solid for us. Like it would have been perfect. But look, I'm happy with both players. Well, Tielemans, it looks like it's going to happen as well. We'll obviously chat on him a bit later, but. Yeah, Vieira, he looks like a very, very good player, and I'm excited to see. I am actually excited to see him, which is a sudden change from maybe like 3 days ago where we looked like we weren't signing anyone.
Interesting. Potts, what's your thoughts on this Vieira signing? Are you with it?
I love the surname, mate. I can't lie. But when it comes to how much I know about him, it's actually very little. So I'm always very, very keen not to get too excited from YouTube clips, because it makes Mustafi look like Cannavaro when you do that. But when you actually look at what he can actually bring stats wise, it looks quite good. 6 goals, 14 assists last season for Porto. Yeah. When you see what he's like on the ball, technically very gifted, great left foot, great vision, likes to link up play. and it looks to me as if he's a very intelligent footballer. I see a lot of Martin Odegaard movement in there. I don't know if he's as good as him, but I see this guy as potentially. My question mark is, where do we see him fitting in? That's my question mark, because is he going to be like?
Is he a lefty or
He's
right?
a lefty.
Lefty.
I've
So
seen
he's
him
a
sliding
lefty,
some
like
passes on the left, but I've seen him crossing on his right foot.
yeah. So I think he's a little bit Santi Cazorla. He can use a bit of both,
Yeah.
but he is predominantly left-footed.
Ambidextrous, isn't it?
Yeah, but I see a lot of comparisons already to Bruno Fernandes and to Bernardo Silva. I don't like to do that when they've not kicked a ball in the Prem yet, to be fair. But when I look at what he can do, technically it looks very, very good. Now, Partey, when he's fit, is going to be our anchor. Is he going to be the Rodri in this Arsenal side, and then potentially have the Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne as Odegaard and Fabio Vieira? That's yet to be seen. A lot of people will say, where does Tielemans fit into this then? So I think it goes back, Tobes, to we need players to compete for places, and also what it comes back to is the 5 subs thing. So I think it gives us a couple of options. I don't think it would mean that we're not going to get Tielemans now. My first thoughts were, who's this guy and where's it come from? That was my first thought. I ain't going to lie. I had to look him up. It wasn't someone I'd heard. I don't watch the Portuguese league. The only teams that I watch are the ones that have made names. Players that I watch are the ones that have made a huge name for themselves. So the only players that I watched over there was Darwin Nunes. He was the only guy I watched, to be fair.
Yeah, the ones who
So-
make waves. Yeah.
The one that make waves. So I looked at him and thought, yeah, that's all we need in a striker. But with Fabio Vieira, it's not one that I looked into. But I feel like a lot of people are saying he's going to be back up to Martin Odegaard. I think he could switch around. I'm not set on this. Martin Odegaard is a genius, by the way. I do think he's a great footballer, but the guy needs to score. I'm sorry, if you're an attacking midfielder, you need to put in goals. You need to.
I think to add on to your point,
I agree. He needs to score more.
I think to add on to your point, I think Tielemans is actually such a vital player, because you have Odegaard and you will have Tielemans, who will be more of those connectors, and probably you could say even more of a controller. Whereas I think with the new obviously Fabio Vieira coming in, he's going to be more of that attacking, bombing in, sort of almost a bit like an old school, more creative Ramsey, like just getting into the box, trying to be a creator and scoring goals, which obviously Odegaard doesn't do as much. But we know the quality Odegaard has, but his lack of goals or contribution to goals is an assist actually.
Yes,
is something which is an issue. But for me, one of the things I was going to say as well is he seems to be obviously quite highly rated. Everyone in the Portuguese press as well and the league has said he is that golden boy out of the new crop of players. It was between him and Vitinha, who also plays for Porto. And everyone says Vieira is the guy. So from my sort of little knowledge of him, and obviously the research and stuff that people coming out with, it seems to be that, look, we want to, like, there seems to be a clear plan. We want to control the midfield with dictators and controllers, and it looks like it's coming to fruition.
I think with this as well, again, your fans will tell me I'm a hater and stuff like that, but you can never have too many ballers. So I'll never be against sides signing like top midfielders, but I question the plan that Arteta has for your midfield. If he doesn't sign a player who is a lot more physically dominant and can do the defensive work well, whilst having that element of technical quality. So someone like a Bissouma, I really think your midfield is missing another profile like Thomas Partey. I think Thomas Partey is the only midfielder in your team that can do what he can do. Like, Partey is the only midfielder who can do that. So you need to get someone close to Partey in terms of style and in terms of quality. And I think you're missing a trick by not addressing that side of your midfield this summer, in addition to the likes of a Tielemans or a Fabio Vieira.
I wanted Bissouma and Tielemans were the two I wanted. They were the two I wanted.
Yeah.
That's why when Bissouma went to Spurs, I was gutted. If I had my way now, I quite like Ruben Neves, but again, I feel like there's not that kind of sit and hold player. I would be looking at somebody like Ibrahim Sangare from PSV, somebody like that who just sits, holds, is a beast, an anchor of that midfield, and when Partey's out, it's not an issue.
Yeah,
what I would say as well is just to go off your point, Tobi, because it's just in my mind. I do think that there is a clear plan. I just feel like, as we've alluded to and we said, I just feel like that backup for Partey is a huge problem. Now, obviously, I'm sure Arteta is going to pin a lot of his hopes on Lokonga. And again, look, I'm not here to like sort of crush a young player, and I am excited to see what he can do. Like, there's been a lot of, I think even his agent said that, look, we're not worried about him even not playing at this moment in time and not leaving because it's the first season and he's a young player, and next season he's going to show a lot more. So again, I know that we always go back to the whole idea of these young players and a lot of promise, but look, I'm excited to see what he can do next season. Just the same way that we give all these praise and chances to Jack Grealish. Next season, he's going to be that guy. Next season, Jack Grealish is going to show the real Jack Grealish. Let's give Lokonga a chance. Like, again, I'm not saying that he's the be-all and end-all, but we have got Onene and Lokonga to kind of possibly rotate for that position to do a job. Yeah, and it's not good enough, but to do a job.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I think, sorry, Lee, what I meant by the plan thing is like, I don't think he's planned for the physical / defensive aspect of your midfield. I think it's clear what his plan is, which is to pad this team with not only technical quality, but with players who can start scoring more. Like, you look at the profile midfielders, you're going for Tielemans. He's a goal getter. He gets goals. He can score around, at least around 8 goals, 6 to 8 goals in the season. Plus, he's someone who can consistently break the lines. And I think in this Vieira guy, he told me stats, putting up stats for goals and assists. I just feel like that party element, in my opinion, is being slept on when I look at your midfield targets. And I felt like the comfort in giving El Neni a new contract when you could have let him go on a free transfer and retaining the likes of Lokonga, that to me, that tells me that he thinks in his eyes those guys are good enough to fill the Thomas Partey void, and they clearly showed towards the end of last season that they're not. So anyway, that's just my view on that. Let's actually talk about Youri Tielemans though, but before we end this stream. But before we do, there's 560 people here now. Lee, what are you on now? Subscriber count?
I think I'm on about 67. So slowly moving up.
Okay, 67. All right. Dan, what are you on?
1.84, man.
1.84. So people, the same old. And I guess your subscriber count will go up for the people who aren't watching in real time. So the ones who keep hearing this, folks, scroll down to the description, do a couple things for me. Scroll down to the description, hit Lee's channel under Lee's socials, hit the link and hit the subscribe button. Get this brother to 100 subscribers, please, before we finish the stream. Get Dan Potts to 2K subscribers. Yeah. Get him to 2K subscribers. The guy's only had 4 videos and he's on nearly 2K. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You're mashing
quality, man. Quality is quality.
Thanks, so people, do the damn thing. And whilst you're there, smash the like for the video as well if you haven't done so. And subscribe to my channel if you ain't done so as well. So let's get back on this. Youri Tielemans. So from what your fans are saying in the comments, from what I've heard from some of your fans on Twitter or read, it seems as if this Fabio Vieira move will not deter the pursuit of Youri Tielemans. Now, I want to get your thoughts on Youri, because I've spoken to so many Arsenal fans, and I get it. I get the fact that Youri Tielemans is not an athlete. So that issue around games where it gets too physical, where they congest the middle of the park, they gas mask Thomas Partey, and they just press you like a pancake. Those are the type of games that I traditionally, when I've watched Youri Tielemans, he doesn't really thrive in. But I'm also looking at a midfielder who can cut teams open at will. He can use both feet. He's got a great strike on him, and he's good on set pieces. I really, really have a lot of time for Youri Tielemans. And for me, he's a midfielder, he's a player like Gabriel Jesus that I wanted Spurs to make a move for. A year left on his contract. He won't cost more than 25 to 30 million. Yeah, 25 years old, entering his prime years. The guy is tech the fuck out, bro. Yeah, you would rather have a player in your team like that than not. But I also understand the concerns you lot have in terms of the profile of midfielders you have in your team. So you tell me, what are your thoughts on Youri Tielemans? Who wants to go first? Anyone can go first.
You want me to go first, Lee?
Yeah, go on, man.
So I watched Tielemans and Maddison very closely this just gone season. And the reason I did that was because I knew we were linked with Tielemans, but also we were linked massively heavily with James Maddison last season. And I really wanted him, and I actually do stand by the fact that he would have been a great
He's a
signing.
baller. He's quality, man.
I think he's class,
superb.
man. What?
He's superb.
12 goals, 16 assists, or is it 16 goals?
He started
12
off
assists?
slow though. He started off
Unbelievable.
slow.
He's quality, man.
He did, but I like the guy a lot. And as much as everybody said Martin Odegaard was a steal for half the price, yes, he was, but he didn't score 16 goals and get 12 assists, did he? So when you look at Martin Odegaard as a footballer, I think he's technically beautiful to watch. But actually, when I look at output, Maddison leaves him dead in the water. So he would have been a great signing. So I looked at him a lot, but I also looked at Youri Tielemans, and I was really surprised about two things. One positive, one negative. The positive is he is a lot better defensively than I ever gave him credit for. He does a lot of work defensively that people does not see. I always saw him as a more of a forward attacking type player, but actually I know TOBS has bigged him up there in terms of him threading through balls and doing things going forward. This guy does a lot going back. My only downside and worry and concern about Tielemans, as much as I'd love him and I would 100% be excited by him, is around 60 minutes, around 70 minutes, 75 minutes, he looks knackered. So what I need to see happening is a lot of help in this Arsenal side with him. And I think with Leicester at times, there's been him on the ball with nobody else around him, which might surprise some, to be honest with you, because Leicester haven't got a poor midfield at all. You know, with the likes of Ndidi and Dewsbury Hall, is actually, we had a very good season, in my opinion. James Maddison, we've just spoken about. You wouldn't think that. But actually, Tielemans looks really tired on about the 70 to 75 million minute mark. So I would say that could be a concern for us because of the high intensity that Arteta, I believe, wants to play. So that could be a downside. But when you look at the positives, they do outweigh the cons for me. So I think this would be an exceptional signing. We believe to be around 25 to 30 million pounds because of his last contract. I think that's a steal, like Bissouma. I think the pair of those would be for 50 million. What we paid for Partey, that would just complement our midfield, and that would be our midfield done. Do you know what I mean? So I look at that and think it would be a great signing. And I don't see that this to be a risk at all. He's Premier League proven. He's a Belgian international. And I said earlier on a stream, I was with Grizz yesterday or day before on his channel, and I said, do you know what? I don't care about the age of players as long as they're experienced, because age and experience is a different thing. You can be an experienced 25-year-old like Tielemans, or you could be a 32-year-old player and have experience. This guy's got experience, Premier League proven, Belgian international, and for me has the right mentality from what I'm seeing. So I think this would be a spot-on signing. I really do like the how heavily linked we are with this guy. So I hope it comes true.
Interesting. I guess that's one. It looks as if you lot are going to close in for Tielemans, but I'm shocked by Youri Tielemans, to be honest, because no disrespect. In fact, maximum disrespect. Fuck your club and fuck some of your fans. I think he can get a better move in his career right now than Arsenal. Maybe not in terms of the name, but he says he wants to play Champions League football. So he can definitely get a move to a side that are playing Champions League football, in my opinion. With a year left on his contract, that makes it much easier for that gives clubs who are in the Champions League a better incentive when it comes to signing it, because you can get him on a cut price deal. So I'm really shocked. I'm shocked that Arsenal is probably the best that he's got right now. Maybe
I'm project, man. The project, you see.
I'm overrating the player, but yeah, I don't know.
The project. Come on, Lee. Look at this. Listen to this guy, man.
Big up Azard for
Loves it.
the super chat. He says Spurs have just submitted the 90 million bid for Lautaro. You know what? I was.
Is that true?
I'm not sure on the amount of the bid. I saw the news from Alfredo Predula, and I said, "Nah, I need this verified."
Yeah, he's not good.
He's not good. But I've now seen it from Glongari, and he is, to be fair, he is quite good when it comes to Spurs news. This Glongari guy, Gianluigi Longari, not Glongari, Longari. So he says that we are going to make another bid for Lautaro. I like Lautaro.
He's going to come. Yeah, I like him, but would he come to sit on the bench?
I don't think he's going to come. But I'm happy that Spurs are making moves for these type of players. But me personally, I think 90 million is too much money for Lautaro. Even in euros, I think it's too much money. But I guess it's around the going rate for a player of his caliber right now. If Darwin Nunes has gone for 80-something million, then Lautaro, yeah, I can see why they're asking for.
I'm just thinking, why would he come to Spurs to be a backup player? Because that is what he will be.
He'll be a rotational player. I don't think he'll be.
Backup. That is what he. No, come on, we know that. Like he's going to be a backup. He's going to be
rotation. You got listen. You, bruh. I think he could come, and for he could start with Harry Kane. It could be Son on the bench. Do you get what I'm saying? So I do get your point, though.
Scorer of the league, you're going to put him on the bench.
His position is uninterrupted. Like he starts no matter what. Yeah. And they got Champions League football as well. It's all a case on whether they need the money. But me personally, I would use that money on a forward. Get me a forward who can play not just centrally, but can play on the left, can play on the right. All we need is one certified forward. That's what we need. One that's
you spending 50 million on Richarlison, isn't it?
Well, we don't know if that's confirmed yet. We're interested in Richarlison, but I think Everton want to price us out of a move. And the way I see it is Spurs are not spending 90 million euros on a player to just sit on the bench. If we sign a player for 90 million euros, they're going to be playing a sufficient amount of game time. It may not be undisputed, but they will get games. We got Champions League, we got Carabao, we got FA Cup. We want to be able to stretch our squad across all competition, and the quality doesn't dip. Yeah. Someone saying you've just described Gabriel Jesus. I know. I literally started off by saying I wanted Jesus at Spurs, but it ain't happening. So me personally, I think we should.
You know, I think would be good for you. I think
Richarlison would be good for us. He's a good player.
No, yeah, Richarlison. But what's the striker for Aston Villa? Not Danny Ings.
Don't
Ollie Watkins.
I like Ollie Watkins, man. I think he's not rubbish.
He's not rubbish. Ollie Watkins is a decent striker, but he's not. What's he coming to do at Spurs?
But for what you need, I think Ollie Watkins is
no chance. Give me Richarlison over Watkins any day of the week.
You know what you should do? Because big up to Dor, yeah. Dan Dor, he's a Nottingham Forest fan, and he is so.
I love Mr. Dor.
Mate,
I love Mr. Dor, man.
He basically believes that they're going to come into the Premier League and have 90% possession every team and the league, mate. Like this guy is absolutely like crazy.
He's the most optimistic man. I love Mr. Dor.
God, honestly, like he believes like he's definitely going to beat us like home and away. They're definitely going to beat us home and away because they beat us in the FA Cup with a weakened team. Mate, Dor, mate, you are a Bants guy, mate. I'm telling you.
I think you know what, like I just think. I love the fact, you know what I love about this? I love the fact that Spurs are flexing their muscles financially in this window. It tells me that we know what it's going to take to improve this team. It seems as if they're ready to spend big on a left centre back and ready to spend big on the attack. So I'm fairly confident that these guys will bring in players that will raise the standard at this club. So I'm not really too fast. I don't expect this Lautaro bid to be accepted, to be honest. I think if Inter sold Lukaku for 100 million quid, I don't expect them to accept 90 million euros for Lautaro, even though I don't think he's worth that. I think Lautaro, in my opinion, my true opinion, humble opinion, I think he's worth around maybe 65 million quid. What's that in euros? I don't know, like 65 million quid. I think that's the standard. But listen,
I like him. I don't see him going to Spurs. I don't see that.
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening. I can see Richarlison going there, but I can't see.
I think Richarlison. I think he's a good player. I like Richarlison to be honest.
Yeah, so do I, man. Listen, guys, it's been a great chat. Thank you both for coming on. I know it's late. You don't really watch basketball, do you?
I watch basketball. Yeah, of course.
Are you watching Game 6? I think it's tonight, right?
Nah, mate. I've got 4 lessons. Lessons tomorrow, man. Bloody hell, I'm teaching.
Boy, tomorrow's my last day. Tomorrow's my last day before I jet out to Dublin for the weekend. So, boy, I'm staying up to watch this game. I'm staying up to watch this game. Game 6. So let's see. But guys, thank you for hopping on, man. It's been really good chatting to you. We're gonna do this.
Always, man.
We're gonna do this again, yeah. I like this chat. We're gonna do this again in maybe like 2 weeks' time because I want to check in on Arsenal, not just Arsenal, but United, Leicester, Aston Villa, Spurs. I want to check in on all the teams. So anytime a team makes an important bid or a deal for a player, I'm going to talk about it. So if you don't want to come on to discuss other teams, not just Arsenal, message me, let me know, and we'll sort it out. But listen, people, 560 of you guys in here. Thank you for tuning into this stream. But before we end, you got to do me a favor. You got to get these guys. You got to get their subscriber count up. In the description, you've got Lee's channel. It's under the link. If you look on Lee's socials and you see Lee's channel, click that link and hit the subscribe button. And then if you click on the title, the channel tagged in the title, Football's 12th Man, that's Dan Potts' new channel. He needs to get to 2K, bro. Subscribe, guys. Thank you for hopping on, man. Thank you for hopping on.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man.
And people, smash the likes, man. Smash the likes and subscribe to our channel as well, man. And turn post notifications on so you don't miss anything like this in the future. So this was really good chat, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And folks, thank you for listening. We'll be back soon, I guess, when Arsenal makes some more signings, if Arsenal makes some more signings. But until then, take care and peace out.